Hey everybody, this is another episode of So Tell Me Your Story. If you've seen the other episodes, you saw Noel Stein, you've seen a lot of other people that do interesting things, but today I'm going to do an interview with my sister Joan Reubens, who heads the bully prevention program in St. Petersburg, Florida. Now, I'm sure I got the title wrong, but she'll tell you that in a minute. If you do follow her on Facebook, please know that I'm the one running her account. So if things don't get answered, if things don't get this, that's the reason why. Please don't blame her, because I'm very bad that way. But if something more important did come onto the site and somebody asked a question, I would then, of course, call Joan and she would deal with it. She really doesn't have time for Facebook. I'm sure she'd love it and be part of our communities. Well, anyway, so now, I'm going to not talk so much and let my sister talk, okay? So, again, if you're just on Facebook with me, her site is called Joan Reubens Bully Prevention. You'll see it in one of my favorites, or one of the sites I run, pages I run. So now I'm going to turn it over to Joni. Let's see now. I got to figure out how. Okay, everybody. Hi, Joan. We spent a wonderful weekend in Miami together, but now I want Joan to talk about her bully prevention program and two of the books she's co-authored.
Well, first, John, I want to say I love you and I'm so proud of you. I want to tell you that I love you and I'm so proud of you and all that you do. Anyway,
thank you.
What I do is I work for Pinellas County Schools. And I oversee the bullying prevention for the district. And basically part of what I do is I ensure that the policy is being followed, implemented, kids are safe, and that we investigate the reports of bullying as they come in. Whether we think they're bullying or not, we still have to look into what's happening and put safeties in place for students that feel that they're not being treated appropriately by their peers. And we know that bullying is peer abuse. It's not something that happens on accident. It's something that's intentional and on purpose. And kids do it because they can. And some kids do it because they may be experiencing bullying from their home, maybe their neighborhood, and then when they come to school, they tend to kind of turn the tables, so to speak, and they can become aggressive toward their peers, actually. So that's kind of what I do, pretty much what I do.
So let me ask you a question. This is your passion. You love this. It's something I see you working from when you get up in the morning till 9, 10 o'clock at night. You're still sending emails out, and you're still dealing with this one and doing that one. So it's more than a job for you. It really is. It's something you have passion for. And you've done it for like 15 years now?
Specific to bullying prevention, probably about 12 years now.
Okay, now what is the difference between like two peers fighting and then one just being more aggressive and then an actual bullying case? Like, how do you tell the difference?
Well, the difference is this. Most of what we do in our lives has some sort of conflict. Conflict is a balance of power between, I want to look at you, but okay. A conflict is a balance of power between two people. So neither side is going to give in. They're like, I'm gonna say this, you're gonna say this, we're not backing down.
So that's not bullying.
That's not bullying, that's conflict. That's a level playing field.
Even if one is stronger than the other one?
Even if one is stronger, the other person's kind of
fighting back.
in there, fighting in there. But it's when that imbalance of power happens, then you have a student that knows that this person is no longer interested in maybe the conflict that started as a conflict, and they tend to kind of overtake and kind of squash the other student.
Okay.
And they continue to do it, and they know they're hurting and they're harming, and they don't necessarily care.
I understand.
So to them, it's like, I've got power, I've got control, and they don't see it as a negative. They see it as, well, I'm just standing up for myself. No. When somebody is feeling uncomfortable and they are not wanting to engage in this conflict anymore, now that's when it can rise to what would be considered a bullying situation. Okay. And that's a lot of what we deal with in our district too. That's why having conflict resolution programs in all of our schools is extremely important. So, did I answer your question?
You answered my question. It's funny because I know you do it in the school system, but I'm sure that bullying happens in many other aspects of life, in the workplace, I know, I work a lot of independent facilities and assisted facilities, and there's even bullying there. When maybe one of the women has a boyfriend and the other women are jealous, they won't let him sit with certain people. So this can actually be carried even further than just the school system.
Absolutely. I see it in daily life. You can see it in businesses when you go into stores. If you watch the interaction with people, you can see where that power and control is being abused, and the person is kind of retreating, maybe better word than that, but kind of pulling back, and they really don't want to be part of what's happening. The other person just keeps coming, and they know that what they're doing is harming, and they don't care, and they just continue to do it. I mean, one time if somebody is saying, hey, you know what, I don't like that. I don't like what you said. It offends me. I'm uncomfortable. Then you stop. But when they carry it on and they keep going and they're going to say something and do something, and they don't care, well, then that's when they take it to the level of what would be considered bullying. So that, like, workplace bullying or family bullying, we have that as well, obviously. People mistreating each other.
Now, I know that many different scenarios have different answers, so I'm kind of throwing you a question that's okay, like a garden variety. Let's say someone finds himself where they're being bullied. What are the things they can do themselves? Now, I know in the school system you would tell you would tell a teacher, you would tell a parent, but just with people, that everyday lives, if you find yourself in a bullying position, how do you handle it?
Well, the biggest thing that I always say is you have to do what's safe for you. Have to do what's safe for you, what's comfortable for you. Me, if I'm in a situation and I feel that I'm being maybe, let's say, called out or talked down to, or someone's mistreating me, and I'm like, whoa, and they're crossing a line, and I'm not feeling comfortable, I'm going to tell them, wait, excuse me, I'm not yelling at you, please don't yell at me. And remember, the person or me, we always have the option of just disengaging. I don't have to answer what you're saying. I can walk away. I don't have to stay here and listen to what you're saying. I mean, even in my district, I get reports of bullying that involve adult to adult many times. But protective factors for yourself would be, you got to stand up for yourself. You have to stand up. You have to say something that you need to say and do something that would be comfortable with your personality. So I never want somebody to get up into somebody's face and look them in the eye. And
Even if you make a joke out of it, but they know it's not a joke.
You have to kind of know your situation.
Okay.
But many times people can kind of laugh it off. They can kind of, yeah, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter what you think, and they kind of walk away. That can work. But it's the people that continue to stand there and feel like they have to take that. Mm-hmm. I do not understand that. You do not. Never do you have to stand there and take that from anybody. And it is okay to say, you know what, I don't like what you're saying to me right now, and I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
And that's empowering to yourself, I think, and lets them know that I'm not going to be, I don't want to say your punching bag or your verbal punching bag or whatever type of bullying that they're doing at the time. But just standing up for yourself, being able to say something and letting them know that what you're saying, no, it's not okay. I'm not okay with it. And
very, very good. Let me ask you another question. Topic we didn't touch: cyberbullying. Now, parents should be involved in their children's social media.
Always.
And I don't know if they just don't know how to handle it, or what goes on in cyberbullying. I know this is a big part of your job.
It is a big part of my job, and in our world that we live in now, with the internet and our technology, and it's only going to get better, not worse. It's going to continue to move forward, but we have to move forward with our kids as well. And many times I will hear from parents where they'll say, well, no, this is my child's social networking site, and I'm not going to invade. Well, no, you need to invade. You need to listen. You need to see what they're doing. You need to see where they're going, because I promise you, not only do they have 1 or 2 or 3 accounts that you know about, but they may have 2 or 3 other ones you have no idea about.
Aye.
And knowing your kids' passwords, my son was telling me that, like, on his cell phone, he said, I changed my password and I don't want anybody to know. And I said, and that's good, but I need to know. So, and then of course, okay, he gave me the password and I can look in his phone. And he knows I'm going to look into his phone. Mm-hmm. And that's what we as parents should be doing. And we should be looking through their things and seeing what's going on, because if we don't protect them, who's going to? The World Wide Web?
No, absolutely not. Well, Well, obviously, I have a lot more questions, but I think we touched all the things that are important. And, also, I'll say this, my sister's also available in many workplaces and things to implement and set up the bully prevention programs because it is very important. I mean, my sister's been flown to different states to set this up where she gives lectures and she talks to different groups and set them up in, the private schools or whatever because it happens everywhere. And I'm sure that there's all different types of bullies. They do it for different reasons.
But just to kind of cut into that for a moment too, what we need to remember too is that the person that is actually displaying the bullying behaviors, there's a reason why they're doing it. So it's not that we want to say, oh, they're the bully, let's just kick them out, or they're horrible, leave them. We need to find out why. Why are they behaving that way? And I know that as adults, we don't really have that control over them, but as kids, we can kind of figure out. That's why we have to put those supports and strategies in place for our students, even if they're on the end of the aggressive behavior. It doesn't mean we're just going to suspend you or you're going to, go to wherever, detention or whatever. But we need to work with your behavior. We have to replace those negative behaviors with appropriate ones, figuring out why that aggressive behavior is happening and how we as adults can help. Because if we don't intervene now, when they're kids, they're going to have convictions by the age of 23. They will have, yes, absolutely, and they will have, convictions, whether it's, it could be breaking and entering, but they're breaking the law in some way. Alcohol abuse, drug abuse. These are the types of things that can happen to our young people as they get older if we do not intervene with these types of
Now,
things.
is a lot of time spent on that in the school system? Do they have like class? Like you remember when we would have not suspension, but we'd be detained after school. I can't think of the word right now.
Detention.
Detention. And do they have like classes like where you would go in and teach bullies why this behavior is happening, what you can change to be a happier person?
No.
And do you think that would be important?
Well, I think individually it would be.
But not as a group.
Well, a school-wide program would teach that to all kids. All kids would know what to do, what not to do, and all that. But when we have a child who is engaging in bullying behaviors, we do need to figure out why. We do need to teach. We do need to take a look into their knowledge. What do they think? Because I'm going to tell you, I've never met a child yet, or a person, because I've had adults, that will say, oh yes, I'm bullying. They will deny it. They do not think what they're doing is considered bullying. They don't. They simply don't. They think that they're just standing up for themselves or they're just being assertive. Assertive is one thing, but they're being aggressive. And they're being aggressive in a way that is harming, can be humiliating, demeaning, and harmful to other people.
Yeah, because when I was a child, I was bullied, and there was a sense, as the person being bullied, there's a sense of humiliation. You're ashamed of yourself that you didn't know how to handle the situation of somebody bullying you. And I just, as far as the people being bullied, I don't know, like, what kind of plan, like, how far that's carried in the school system as well.
We carry that plan as far as we need to. There's the child who feels bullied. They do feel embarrassed. They do feel humiliated, especially our male students. They feel like, I should have handled this. Why is this happening? Why is it not happening to him or her, but it's happening to me? They need that support. And the number one thing they need to know, too, is that what they have done by coming forward and saying something is brave. I mean, it's hard to speak up. It's hard to say, I feel a little helpless in the situation here, I need your support. So as adults, we don't need to, tell them what they did wrong. We need to thank them for coming and getting help. And now what can we do to help you solve this problem? And work with the student and let them know what we can do. And many times kids are being bullied because they're lacking social skills. They don't know how to interact appropriately with their peers. And they do seem a little odd or different than their other peers. And they're like, well, why is it that they have friends and I don't? And there's many different reasons, but that's what we work with. Putting plans in place with kids on how to become friends with other students and fit in. Not everybody's going to fit in, they're just not. But we want to make sure that they come to school and feel safe. And they know that if something does happen, there is an adult that will listen and do something about it. So, and that's a big thing too that I tell kids. If you report and you let somebody know and nothing's done, then you need to keep reporting. Go to a different person. Go to another person. I've had parents do that too. I feel like I wasn't being heard, I wasn't being listened, and they're almost apologizing because they've come to the district level. I said, please don't do that. I mean, that's okay, because we're here as a school system to help in any way that we can. So when they reach out to me, I reach out to the school, and then we work together. to figure out the best plan.
Wow. I tell you, I mean, I always knew your work was important, but this is I mean, this is like a child to go to a safe place and feel comfortable in an environment. See, my generation, we're 4 years apart, we didn't have that. We were just told, oh, kids will be kids and bullying, but it left major scars on people. And I know that whenever I say to my friends, oh, my sister's had a bully prevention, normally they have a horror story to tell when they were a child. So I think that this is such an incredible program. And I don't know what kind of funding is out there. I don't know how many people work on your team. But
It's me and one other.
really,
Yeah.
wow.
Me and I say half of another person. She's wonderful.
Oh
That's
yeah.
about all that I get. Yeah.
Now, who are the people that you've come up with? Any people you'd like to mention that helped mentored you or you worked with when you were, you know?
Joan Reubens, Dr. Joan Reubens, she's the one that I co-authored 2 books with. She has taught me so much. She's extremely bright. She's got a doctorate in the field.
Really?
So a lot of what I've learned is from her. And I feel proud of that because what she's done is proven. And even to this day, I would still like email or call her and say, hey, I've got a situation. What do you think? So I would say that Dr. Joan Reubens is probably.
And as far as like the school board, do you feel like you get good? You feel that they're behind you in every way? Is there anybody you'd like to point out?
Well, my supervisor, Donna Sicilian, she's been incredible. She's been incredible. And of course, Associate Superintendent Lori Matway, she's been a huge support. And I gotta say, the superintendent himself, Dr. Grego, I mean, they know that it's an important issue, and they know that these are the things that we're doing, and they're backing us up. They're supporting. They're giving us the support that we need to ensure that bullying is not occurring in our schools, and if it is, that we're doing something about it, and that we are ensuring that our kids are feeling safe. That's because if our kids are not safe, they're not learning.
No.
They're just not learning. They're thinking of, how do I get from point A to point B without these kids seeing me or doing something,
Well, that's what I would think when I was a kid. It's like, oh, that bell is going to ring, and I got to make it past the science center where all the bullies hang out. How am I going to do this? And that's all I would think about all day, and I'd be sick. I think maybe I should go home early. Maybe I should this. Maybe I should that. And that's all I could think about as a child.
And unfortunately, that's a lot of what we have right now, is that we have parents that pull their kids out of school and homeschool them. They just feel like they're just not safe.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. I mean, as a parent, I would, if you feel that your kid is unsafe, then you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. You got to get that support for your child.
Well, this was a wonderful interview, and I hope that she's answered your questions. And please, again, I do run Joan's Facebook page. I'll try to send more information to her. And if there's anybody that I've not answered correctly, I apologize, because I don't really want to get my sister's business or anything like that, because I'm sure I'll say the wrong thing. But alrighty, so look for Joan. And again, if you need her for anything, contact Facebook, and then we'll talk from there. Thank you, Joni.
Thank you.
Normally, I give people that sit down and give an interview with me, I normally give them a Stella D'Or cookie. But I didn't have a Stella D'Or cookie to give you, so you're not getting a cookie.
That's okay.
That's all
I'm
right?
going to be getting a wonderful performance in a little while.
I hope so.
He's a wonderful singer,
Aw,
performer, and
see that?
my best friend.
No, I love my sister.
I love you so
as I know
much.
so many do, because she's a powerful woman. She's strong. She came up through my mother. She's strong stuff. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And Joan, could you press the button off? Because I don't want to make our... Bye.